Good evening and welcome to another Monday Night Live. It's slightly different this week. We have a third wheel, and what a third wheel it is. Hennie has joined us live from the studio. Well, maybe not quite.
I
live.
will be in this week though, which is very exciting because I haven't been in since January, so I'm being put back to work again.
Are you having withdrawals?
Yeah, I actually am. You know how I can tell? Because I started to watch golf, and not only watch golf at home, but call my friends and go, oh my God, did you see what happened with Russell Henley on 16? And so then they're like, who are you? What's happened? And so that's how I know I'm getting withdrawals.
So at the back end of the year, it kind of bleeds out of you, that enthusiasm, maybe 2 or 3 weeks in. Well, as usual, we've got Simon, James behind doing the edit as well. So, and of course, we've got our iPad here that if you want to ask any more questions to Hennie, myself or Simon, or even James. Why not throw a few at James?
Yeah, he gets offline every week.
Yeah, I know he does. I know he does. So, what's been happening, Hennie?
I have been quite cheeky, and I've been having, because I've not been in the studio, a Q1 sabbatical pretty much, which has involved loads of travel. So I've just got back from Mauritius, which I see everyone's eyes when I say that, do that, that face.
You're right, you're going there later in the year.
Yeah, it was incredible, and I played loads of golf, and then I came back to the British sunshine, which was wonderful as well. So after my back injury pre-Christmas, I hit driver for the first time in Mauritius, and it was really good. And it is shocking what a difference. So this will make you all feel better at home when you're like trudging through winter golf. What a difference warm weather makes to your body and your swing and how you feel. So it's coming soon. That driver is going to be launching for everyone. But yeah, I hit some, body felt good, and so now I'm pondering playing some golf in the UK, which I very much set my stall out that I do not play winter golf. It doesn't happen.
Strong play. It's a strong play.
It's
good play.
Do not call me from October right the way through till March. Like, they're in the cupboard.
And is there a threshold temperature, or is it just a date?
Yeah, it's whatever is set in my room upstairs. What is that, 19, 20 degrees?
Yeah.
So you don't have to change any clothing.
Upstairs, yeah, exactly. No, I think it is about 15 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah. As soon as it gets below. And it's also the mud. Like, I don't want muddy shoes. I don't want the faff. I don't want the rain.
Worm
I don't
casts.
want bad lies. I just don't want any part of it. Because then my head remembers good lies, crisp ball flight, nice, warm, relaxed body. And when I come back out, boom, straight back into it. Yeah.
Well, I've never told you this, I don't think, but I first met you from afar at Heritage Resort where you were.
Did you?
Yeah, so I was there with Nick when the very first Mission Open was at the Heritage.
Yeah, at Le Chateau Golf Club.
Yeah, that's right. You were lounging out.
Sounds about right.
Lounging out on the beach. Nick and I were on the veranda after shooting something in the 70s, high mid-70s, and we were just having a cocktail. But no, you were there that week, and I didn't say hello to you, but that was Nick goes, there's Hennie over there. But yeah, it's a fantastic resort, isn't it? The Heritage is a spectacular resort.
Yeah, I always stay at l'Hotel Fair, and it is one of the most relaxing places in the world. It's really like not super modern fancy. It's you're in with nature, relax. There's a fish pond, there's an ice cream place. You just sit outside listening to the fountains. You're maybe like 5 steps from, this is my favourite part, right? From the pool right here to the bar, and then you're 5 steps to the beach.
Sounds like hell on earth.
I mean, yeah, magic.
And how's the second course bedding in? Because that's now a year and a half old?
La Reserve, incredible. It's the only links in the Indian Ocean. And so when you hear that and you go there, you're thinking like, but really, because links golf courses have tried to be impersonated around the world and it's not happened. However, they really have done an incredible job, and they've really used like the native grasses. And I went last year, it was a little bit soft, but this year on year, it's bedding in really nicely. And it's a Louis Oosthuizen design, and it's really tough. I'm not going to lie, it's a brute. When you play Le Chateau, you're like, great, I can get it round, this is friendly. And I sent my parents off to play La Reserve one afternoon, and they came back like a little bit shell-shocked. And they're like, that's hard. Yeah, sorry,
that's not good. The Chateau's always bitten me in the arse whenever I played it, so it doesn't bode well for the reserve, does it?
But it was sunny.
It was sunny,
as we've got Hennie, and we'll sort of field the questions, the ones that are going to include Hennie a little bit more than Simon and I. So there's been one that's come straight in from the Yorkshire Blade.
Okay, love that, the Yorkshire Blade.
I know, TYB we call him. Good evening, ladies and gents. Can you have a nearest the pin contest
Oh dear.
at the postage stamp and the 17th at Sawgrass, and the 7th at Pebble Beach. Well, I don't think we can do the Sawgrass or Pebble Beach.
Pebble, they let us have the Pebble for the Christmas do, but then they strip that out. Thing you have to pay for it.
Well, we can do the postage stamp.
We can do the
postage stamp.
Yeah.
Have you been hitting balls all day? Because Simon has.
No, can I just get one more?
Simon.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
just threw him under
I mean, Simon just every Monday night he comes in extra early and hits.
I did 3 before we started.
150 balls. 150
Okay,
balls. he hits
whilst
every
you're swinging,
week.
I'm going to go out of this and load up the.
Have you had any balls today, Stu?
No, no,
Or
no,
Yeah.
no.
I've been exercising quite a bit lately.
You
There
have.
is a amazing fitness environment / trend here at Precision Golf, because obviously we have Kate doing the High Rocks World Champion, incredible stuff. She's at the top of our pyramid.
Very much at the top.
A long way at the top of the
And then
pyramid.
working your way down.
Yeah.
You, I think, are right underneath because you did all the nutrition stuff. You really started the fitness.
Yeah, I feel like I
Kate.
backed off that a little bit too hard at the moment, but I'm.
We don't need to confess.
Yeah, no, okay, fine,
You're
fine,
right.
fine. Yeah, yeah.
And then James did a High Rocks. Which
Yeah,
was super
doubles. He
impressive.
did a doubles.
A
Doubles,
yes.
yeah. I mean,
I
he split the
don't-
work, so it's sort of a half effort, but yeah. So
His face.
oh, and you're
Sorry,
and
hang
you're
on.
right. Oh, quite good.
No, notice why I am in this one. Yeah. Way out the bottom.
And then all of this has inspired me to do my own fitness hard launch. And so now you're next.
Yeah.
It might be a soft launch.
Soft launch. A soft launch. Okay, Henny. What is your club of choice? What's your equipment?
I've
What-
got a 52 degree tailor-made.
Are you a tailor-made player?
Yeah, I am. Do you know what? Right, I'm really bad with equipment.
Ooh, it's already gone straight into it.
Like remembering the names of everything, but I'm really good in terms of what my lofts, lie angles, shafts, shaft weights, all of the like properties of the club. But then because they get changed every single year, which like
Not a
I
fan.
like, but I also don't like because I'm very much like I would have the same set of clubs for
Me too.
like 10, 15 years. I can never keep up with the names of everything, so I fall short there.
So it's loaded straight up. I thought it normally gives you some warm-up swings.
Yeah, well.
But it's loaded straight up and
Henny's to
Stuart's
find
up
it.
first.
I've
I've randomised the order and Stuart's first.
Oh, lovely.
Right, oh, no, I can't.
Oh,
No,
no,
you
that's
can't. No, you can't,
straight into comp time.
I'm just going to do some practice.
So we're 119.
119. Is there any puff up there?
I've left that low, 3.5
Oh,
miles an hour. Firm greens though,
Firm greens.
firm greens.
Because that's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
To my strategy. 119, slightly downhill. Okay. That's
Blade true?
Yes. No, I played the junior version of the Open round Kilmarnock Barassi.
Okay,
Which is
that's
right
what they always
nearby.
use for qualifying for true.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I've walked around Troon quite a bit.
Right.
But I don't think I've played it.
No, you do your 2 goes. I gave us 2 goes.
Oh, 2 goes. Okay.
I thought
Like
one
it.
might be a little bit
Oh,
brutal.
okay. No, that's
very
fine.
friendly.
That's fine.
I like this.
It's very friendly, isn't it? Mulligans and everything.
Yeah, I've not played at the west coast of Scotland actually. There's so much golf I've not played that
Yeah.
I
That
really
one-
like
I think that
Ireland.
one
I've
could
played
be
Port
quite
Rush
good.
and that's it.
I think that could be quite good. Get
Have
down,
you ever been
down,
on a
down,
golf
down,
trip?
down.
'Cause I've not.
Easy.
We've hosted a couple, but I've
Yeah.
not
Quite pleased with that.
not done.
Well,
Kind
I,
of
mean, I
mini.
felt like I had to ask you for that, but that's fine. You
Oh,
just
and it's saying me next. Right, okay.
felt like
So
to-
Hennie, there's
yeah.
more suspense for Hennie. So saying me
No,
next. So,
stop.
yeah.
So
Right.
I'm too keen. I
N-
keep jumping in.
now you're a lean, mean fighting machine. Are you inspired to get the weapons out and play a little bit more this year?
Yes.
How far are you
think
going to take
so.
that? Oh, well, I'll tell you what we need
That
to
sounded
talk about.
tentative, yes.
Tell you what we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
Nice. I don't think I've actually ever seen you swing.
No, he does well. He does super well.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, well done.
You see, competitive edge is still there.
Yeah, competitive.
Miss.
to a
Right.
fault.
20 feet.
Okay, we can get inside that. Right.
Come on, Simon.
You play quite a bit though, don't you?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, Stuart or me?
You.
You.
I've played 27 holes this year.
That was almost a full thing, wasn't it? No, it wasn't.
It did sound
sounded
questionable, didn't it?
Awfully.
Which I think the result shows it was questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you play, Henny?
Well, Considering that we're coming out of my winter hibernation.
Because you played with Mum, didn't you, while you were away?
I did. I played 9 holes.
How did Mum play?
My mum, right, if you think I'm competitive, my mum is next level competitive with nothing to back it up. Like, she plays 5 times a year, but every time she comes out, she's like, I've got it, I'm going to take you down. Like, she's so into
I like that.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, her golf is solid. What is it? 119?
119.
Oh, it was a bit fat.
Do you miss playing?
Life.
Tour life? Playing? Travelling around?
No, I don't miss tour life. I think what I do miss... I mean, I miss the people that I travelled with, but I think what I do miss is like that competitive, playing the back 9 in a major on a Sunday and like trying to figure that out, or... I think that like when you're at the top end of it, trying to win, competing to win is incredible. There is no feeling, I think, on earth quite like it for me anyway. Like nothing has matched up to that since retiring. But also nothing has matched up to the lows of like my 5th straight miscut. So like
they balance each other out quite nicely.
Middle ground,
And would I let you hit this shot? I wouldn't want, if you're thinking I'm putting you off or anything, Hennie.
Yeah, thank you.
There's some nice kicks as well, by the way.
Oh no!
Such an arsehole.
What's that? Is that me?
Oh, nice kicks, by the way. Yeah. Just as the club gets taken away.
That's all right. Talk to us about underrated golf, which I know is very exciting. I know my young protege Christos played in it last year.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Like it?
Oh my goodness, he's entered up and he's desperate to be there. What's happening with the entries at the moment? Is it?
Very good question. So everyone has to register.
Yeah, he's registered. Yeah.
And then everyone who is selected gets entry to both tournaments. So we were at Fox Hills and we're at Fairmont St Andrews this year.
Brilliant.
And yeah, basically, if you feel like you are underrated in terms of like you need a playing opportunity, or you're from maybe a background where you don't get as many opportunities, then underrated is basically 12 to 18 years old. And the magic of underrated truly is the environment. There's like a players' lounge, and all of the kids like get on so well. It really feels like a bit of a family environment by the end of the week. You get kids starting out and they're so shy and they're like wouldn't say boo to a goose, and then by the end of it you see them in their players' lounge and they're like taking each other on table tennis and the life and soul of the party, and yeah, it's a really cool environment.
It was a spectacular event at Walton Heath last year when I turned up and walked around with Christos. I mean, it was like a mini major.
Yeah,
from the range to the
so
golf course, and
and that is the whole point, is to give kids who don't get opportunities a chance to experience the environment of what it would be like on tour, and to hopefully inspire them to go on and do better and better things. And every single year there's more kids coming out who are getting college scholarships, which is amazing. So it is a real like stepping stone for some of these kids, and it's super cool to see.
Did you play anything like that as a junior? Any big events?
I guess with being Surrey based, there were so many junior opens, junior tournaments to play in. And I think I was going to say part of that is you get such a great group of friends, contemporaries, you bounce off one another from a practice, from a competitiveness point of view, and that's so important when you're going through, you're developing your game out, is to have people who you've got to be on it to beat. It only just makes you better and better and better, but you as a group, you kind of knit together over the years as well. But yeah, I guess the junior opens around. I played Wentworth Junior Open. Warpleton had one.
And they're always like £25, weren't they?
Yeah. You get filled up with hammock and chips at lunchtime, and all the nutritional highs. And then into just the main amateur stuff. Playing the Brabazon and things like that. It carries on. You have years of it, which is just brilliant.
Yeah. I miss my junior golf days.
Do you?
And as amateurs, you get great courses as the amateurs as well. And then you turn pro and you're on the low-level pro tours, you play some rotten courses.
The freedom of it meaning nothing, right, other than just hitting and whacking, and then handicaps got involved, and then team events and tour and all that kind of stuff. All of a sudden, not beat the fun out of it, but it starts to have momentum, doesn't it? And starts to change. And when you watch people like Christos and everyone that was playing at underrated last year, it was such a... So, and some of them, get a bit of a temper, but that's all right. A bit of a club on the floor and stuff. It's like the raw passion that they're doing it just for the fact that that's right. And but it's like pegging the ground and smash it off the tee right over the corner. It's like, oh no. It's frightening.
All of us are going, don't get it wrong. And they just see the shot they want to hit.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I went out to Sky Sports, we're partners with the European Open at Torre Quebrada and a few different golf courses. And they were out there playing La Cala, or one of the golf courses, La Cañada, which was a muni down in southern Spain. And it was so tight. It was so tight. And like elevated tee shots, and it was windy, and I'm standing there and I'm going, oh, and Christos and all these kids are just pegging the ground, whopping driving down. Fantastic. Yeah. Good fun. So let's have a little look, see what questions we've got coming in for you. Jason Owen, good evening, Jason. First of all, Connor Knight says, cracking content as always. Well, is it only because it's Hennie's here, or is it because we're doing it every week? But anyway, Jason, Jason Owen, 90% of golfers in the UK are 15 handicap and over. You see all the new products from big brands saying it's longer, straighter, more forgiving. Are the adverts getting a bit ridiculous? Hennie?
I do think that I hear what you're saying. It's a very fine line from you.
I know. That's why I went straight for you. Because I know you're a diplomat.
Right. Do I think that technology is improving year on year? Yes, I do. I think, these companies have a whole R&D department who are very clever, and undoubtedly clubs are easier to hit now than when I was playing on tour. When ball striking was always my thing, despite what the evidence shows in this challenge. And so I would always have blades and shape shots and stuff. I remember when I first came out on tour, and it was such a massive advantage. Whereas now, and I remember even when I was leaving tour 10 years ago, it wasn't that much of an advantage because the equipment had gotten so much better that it didn't really matter. No one was playing blades anymore. You can shape the shot with whatever. If you hit it out the toe, it didn't matter. If you hit it slightly up the heel, it didn't matter as much. Which for a professional, I'm talking purely from a professional standpoint here, who is a good ball striker, that was a bit annoying for me. However, if I was a 15 handicapper, I'd absolutely love that. In short, I do think that the technology is improving, and as much as you can take advantage and just come somewhere like here and find out what your match is, because I do think that is really important. And I know that, even talking to a friend of mine, Tom Lewis, who plays on tour, and we have these conversations in my kitchen for an hour or two about shafts and how much he has 129 grams, and I how he can't quite the head's not quite sitting right, and all of these conversations are continually having, and how one person might see it this way, another person might see it that way, or how you feel this and how that impacts your swing. And so I do really believe that getting the head and shaft combo, that's where the money is. So yes, technology is getting better, but also it's really important to, you guys see it day in, day out, it's really important to get that combo right.
Very good, very good. Anything to add? Should we move slightly closer to
I think what we're seeing is a slight change in what they're saying. We are seeing them say this is now not, they're not just going longest anymore. They're actually now saying this year's products are not to beat someone who bought one last year. It's for 3 products back, with driver in particular. But we've seen much bigger gains in fairways and hybrids because the tech's not limited like it is on driver. So they are improving year on year, but it is very small incremental. But as you said, it is all about, do it properly and do it once and make them last. I don't change my clubs 7-8 years because it takes a long time to beat what I've got. And that's the whole idea of getting fitted, is that it suits you and it maximizes what you can achieve, and then you don't have to touch it for years. So
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Let's talk a little bit about your time on the road with Sky, because obviously you were out in the States doing the Tiger thing, and then 2019 came along and that all kind of scuppered those ideas and plans, and then you come back over to the UK. I've got this kind of timeline right, and obviously doing more stuff with Sky and traveling on the road. How's that been for you after playing? Is that something that you've enjoyed more than playing, or is it something that you feel equally as sort of highs and lows about? Because playing is highs and lows, right? And I can imagine having small experience of doing this show, some weeks I'm sure that you feel like you've smashed it out of the park, and other weeks you feel like, oh, I tripped up a couple of words and tripped up some whatever it might be.
Yeah, it's such a great question. I think it's been a bit of a journey. When I first started it, I was doing women's golf, and I found that really hard mentally because I still wanted to play. So that was really tough, but at the same time I could recognise that I had a great opportunity and I felt like I was good at it, so I just kept working away. And so I think what I generally say in terms of that similarities to golf career is that I've genuinely utilised every single thing I've learned as an athlete and as a golfer and put that to work in terms of, okay, you have a disappointing round or day. What do you say to yourself? How do you respond to that adversity, that setback? How do you come back better and stronger tomorrow? So all those things are like very, very similar. And then I think when I started working in men's golf, it's when I really found my feet. I've done every single role from like on-course commentary to post-round interviewer, at the Sky Kart in the US, which was so fun. And I was in my 20s and was single, and I could just like go to FedEx St. Jude and have the best week and then go out at night in Memphis, and like it was just it was so fun. So that was really cool, and that was such a great time for like traveling a lot, learning my trade, and I think crucially my schedule and calendar and how I live my life has stayed exactly the same. So I have like a down season, an off season. I've had like the last 6 weeks off, and then it's going to get busy again through the summer, and that has been my life since I was 12. And so I think that makes the transition so much easier, because if I was going from professional golf into like an office job, I would really struggle. Like, I don't know what that would be like to work every single week. And it's like, it's so intense, as you know, like so intense. There's days where I'm working. So I remember Ryder Cups, like Ryder Cup Paris. You're up at 3 a.m. You're not in bed until like 11 p.m. And you are literally working for all of that, and you can't, like, it's 36 hours a day you're walking, and it's such a huge privilege to be there that you wouldn't dare to like complain about it. But after that, you do need a couple of weeks off. So it sort of swings and roundabouts, and yeah, I don't know if I'm answering your question, I'm rambling now, but it has been a wonderful experience, and I'm grateful that I've been able to like use a lot of what I worked for, because you work so hard as a professional golfer, right? And it would be such a shame if I had all of that knowledge, insight, hard work, skills learnt, and I couldn't transfer those across. So it's been cool to transfer all of that knowledge and everything across, and keep like a very similar lifestyle. And I still now, like, there's still things that I want to improve upon. So it's still that journey of like, how can I get 1% better, incrementally better, every show, every week, every year, which I think will like never leave me. That's just my personality until I die, like all round.
What surprised you most about what you actually have to do with some of that, like when you're at a tournament, for example? What were you most surprised by of what was involved with the job that you wouldn't have seen from the other side?
There's so much about that job that you just would haven't, like, you couldn't even imagine. So one of the toughest skills, which now feels like second nature to me, is like talking while someone's in my ear constantly. But like that now is almost my eyes and ears, is someone telling me like roll yellow, and then we're going to animate the graphic and come out. So that's like a constant stream of talking while I'm talking. So that takes a long time to get used to. And then another thing that like is the biggest thing to get used to is like almost not just being yourself, but in the most unnatural environment. So being natural in an unnatural environment. And then there's so much technical stuff, and there's so many people. I mean, I love being a part of a team, because coming from an individual sport, I never had that. And there are so many people behind the scenes in the team at Sky Sports Golf that like every single person is as important as the next person, because they're all like, we're all cogs in a wheel together. So if one person doesn't quite get like the sound right, or if one person doesn't quite get a graphic, or whatever it is, like we're all pulling together in the same direction, and it all sort of crumbles a little bit. But then you also, everyone will make mistakes. So you just got to go, it's cool, don't worry, let's just get on with it, let's keep going. And sometimes it's like live, and that feels incredible, and it's really exhilarating. And yeah, I've made so many mistakes as well that you have to like live with and deal with, and not like repeat over in your head. Sometimes it feels like the same feeling that like you've missed the cut by one. And you have to like live with that all night and not repeat that over and over again. You've got to not repeat the really silly thing you said over and over and over again. And yeah, there's so many different elements of it that you would be quite surprised about. But I think also, like, if I'm thinking specifically on site, the sheer size of a TV compound, all of the cables that have to go in, and again, these, like, the teams of people, like the riggers that come in and set everything up so that everything works perfectly, and then we arrive and it's all like all the cables are there and perfectly like put away. And I know it might seem trivial, but that is what brings the broadcast to air. So yeah, I think probably the big thing is like the scale of the teams and how hard everyone works.
I think when I came into Sky for the first time, I worked with yourself and Josh, and when coming in, opening up the broadcast, and you're setting the scene, and you're talking about the golf course and the people to watch this week, and just setting the mood and the tone of the broadcast. You did it with such ease. Like you made it look. I mean, I'm a cat in the headlights, right? Because I mean, first time I've grown up watching Sky Sports Golf, and I'm now standing watching a monitor that I'm about to be on in the studio, right? So I've spent the day wanting to throw up, and I walked straight into the studio. So I picked up a golf club, and I started to feel okay. And but you and Josh absolutely made me feel completely at home. But what I was so impressed with is that how you just made it just fall out your mouth. and then I worked with Iona.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been like more the other end of the spectrum. But when it came to the board, I mean, like way more high energy. Obviously, I think it's a slightly newer role for Iona.
Yeah.
But equally, it all just came out of her mouth. But you could see it was slightly more uncomfortable with that situation. I think
that's the thing about again, transferable skills from like golf to broadcasting. Is like I am not a prepper in life in anything. And so I work my best when it's like free and natural and free flowing. And I remember like at the start seeing all the prep that people did, and I was like, oh my God, do I have to do that? And so I tried, but there was just way too much information in my head, and it just like didn't free me up, and I was really struggling. So like, yeah, I think you do have to find your like what
market.
would work for Iona would not horrify me, and vice versa. I'm certain that my level of prep would horrify like most people.
So I remember seeing in the compound in Mauritius when we went out there. We went in with Tony Johnson into the little kind of, I guess it was in the TV compound, but where they were broadcasting from, and it was Dominic Hollier, yeah. The book he had of stuff, and my assumption was just this is not what everyone had. Oh, I guess that you've got to have all your notes for every. But as you say, it just doesn't work for everyone.
No, I would truly perish because I just can't. But then also like different roles prep differently. So if you're like lead comms, you need more info. If you're guest commentator or colour commentator, you need to more react to what you're seeing. As a presenter, then it's just sort of like a middle ground of like what information you can hold in your head and where you're going, and ultimately like what you know. I remember learning a language, I can't remember what it was, maybe Spanish. And it was this, I can't remember the name, this is such a terrible story, I'm sorry. I can't remember the name of...
You've got us so far though. You've sold it well.
I can't remember the name of the program, but it's a specific language learning program. It's like a blue, like a Tiffany blue colour. The guy is a German guy. Anyway, his whole theory of how he teaches people different languages is like when you know something, you don't have to remember it. And that for me, I have in my head all the time. And that's probably like the key to my broadcasting prep, because I'm like, I know these guys, I know their games, I know the golf course. So I don't need to prep any of that because I know it. And so that's just going to flow naturally. And then I've got to find the stuff that I don't know to add into that. So that's my theory.
I think that's massive, because I think the minute you know your trade and you know your topic, just throw me anything and I'll answer it.
Right.
You know, when you've got enough under your belt, you'll feel comfortable, and some people are not comfortable with that. It's a bit like flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But if you're kind of comfortable, bit of ad-libbing and dealing with iffy questions that you can sort of swerve around, it's all good, isn't it?
You did great that first day there. I'd never have guessed that you wanted to throw up.
Oh my goodness! I mean, it was the most horrendous day.
Really?
It was honestly, it was the most horrendous day.
Cool,
it was the most horrendous day. I was in the car park about an hour early, and I was on the phone to my sister, because I phoned it on the way in, and I could have thrown up at will.
No.
I could have thrown up at any point from the moment I woke up. I could have thrown up at will, but as soon as I got in, I went straight into the cupboard and pulled a club out, and I was fine then.
Yeah.
And but the talk, you're talking about the talk back in your ear. I mean, it's a very different sensation. I wanted that from the start, you know, and as I've done more, it's been nice because you have a conversation with the gallery, talking about sport box and the hitting on the mat and stuff. It's good fun. It's good fun, isn't it? Yeah, when you're in there. When you're in there. So the majors, big events, obviously every year. We've got the Masters coming up, Sawgrass this week. It's an exciting start to the year, really. They've jigged it around. It always feels slightly different with having the Open now at the end of the season. I feel that's like,
short,
it feels like it's super short, doesn't it? But nevertheless, let's not look at the end, let's look at the start. Sawgrass.
Yes.
You've been there?
Yes, many times. I maintain that it is the best fan spectator experience on the PGA Tour. It's so much fun. It's got such a relaxed atmosphere to it. If you're a foodie, it's a place to go. They've got food trucks all around in this like special area. It's just so relaxed. It's very Florida in the best way possible. And and then the golf course is iconic. Like if I was going to watch, I would just perch myself on 17 and just watch the carnage unfold.
Watch the money spent.
The first few holes are like brutal. Back nine is probably a little easier. There's scoring opportunities there for sure, but yeah, it's the kind of golf course that like you look at some of the tee shots, like 18. Can never get my head around that because it's a dog leg right to left. There's trees on the right. There's water down the left. It's just like, oh, there's a few shots out there, tee shots especially, where you're just like, no, I just don't fancy this.
That one that when Rory won, he hit up 18 and just smashed the driver up. Then you look at it and go, how in the world can you let yourself free up and do that at that point? I'd be, somewhere up the right, just anywhere but up the left, and kind of try and muddle a par. But yeah, you always think around there, the best golfer on the week wins, which might sound like an obvious comment, but it doesn't. It's a course that doesn't necessarily suit the longest hitter. Fred Funk won around there. The conditions, it can get windy. It's real risk reward at certain points. So it kind of feels like it's just a beautifully designed course in that respect.
It is, and I think it's one of those ones, a little bit like, I always felt this way about Emirates Golf Club in Dubai. Majlis course, where it's like, sorry, I do have better stories than this, I promise, but what's the name of that movie with Nicolas Cage, where he's got this car that's like, it's his nemesis car? It's not Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, it's Gone in 60 Seconds. Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the car, but I always said...
Eleanor.
I always said, well done. We're getting there. We're piecing together a story.
See, when you know you haven't got, they can just drill out of there somewhere.
So I always said that Emirates Golf Club in Dubai was my Eleanor because I absolutely loved it, but it didn't love me. And I think a lot of golfers feel that same way about TPC Sawgrass. Absolutely love it. Love the tournament. Would love to win it, but the golf course, year in, year out, just doesn't love them. And it can be like that, especially when the wind starts swirling, as it inevitably does around there, and they set it up so beautifully but so tough every single year. And there's always a little bit of drama around there, isn't it? I'm thinking back to last year and thinking about Wyndham Clark and that awful lip out. Was it on 16 or 17?
16.
16. I mean, that hot. But yeah, Scotty Scheffler was the only man in history to defend successfully the Players' Championship. And now can he go 3 in a row? You're not going to bet against him, are you?
Wasn't that far off this week, was he?
No, it says a lot about his long game, tee to green round there. You've got to be dialed, haven't you? Relentless. We've just had Tom Ashmore say, evening all. I've just fresh off the back of playing the new PGA Tour game. You know what's coming. Made a good putt in my first tournament, only to hear Hennie say, didn't expect that to go in.
I'm sorry, Tom.
Yeah, Tom, she obviously knows you far too well.
How many derogatory barracks are there in that game?
I can neither confirm nor deny, do you know what though, when I'm recording that, and sometimes I'll say a line and the producer's like, ooh, you're going to be hated for that one. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, fire it out there, fire it out there.
No, that's very fun. I get so much wonderful feedback around the world from PGA Tour 2K, and it's a lot of fun to record it. And it's hefty though, like we do it in 2-3 hour sessions remotely, and there's a script like this big. And it's kind of like, hey, Hennie, right, this one, say downhill left to right 12 different ways. Go.
Yeah.
So you have to go, this one's downhill, braking to the right. Downhill, left to right. Downhill and off your left. But you have to, like, 12 times, like, fast, like, because you only have 3 hours, like, 6 hours for the whole video game
Oh my
of recording.
goodness.
So you'll have to, like, boom, 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 boom. I have the caffeine, I've got, like, yeah. everything
Bouncing
going
off the
on.
walls. Papa B asks, hello kids, question for Henny. Who's the person in golf you were most nervous or anxious to meet, and is there someone you most admire in the game? You can't say Simon. It would be embarrassing.
I'm anxious to meet, I mean, clearly. No.
Okay, it's probably going to be the same person. It's Tiger, of course. I have a very funny story from the first time I met him, which is actually a good story, and I remember all the details.
You got all the storylines.
I've got all
right?
the story.
Okay.
It was at the Quicken Loans in Bethesda, just outside of Washington, which is genuinely like a swamp in the summer. Like, it's so hot. It's like 35 degrees and like, whoa. So I'm outside at the Sky Cart doing post-round interviews, and I'm sitting in my little spot in the shade, and to get to the toilet you have to go through the sun and like up some steps and into the clubhouse, and like it's a little bit of a faff, and like I've mistimed things. So for the afternoon wave of players, I haven't gone in the break, right? So you have 2 times when you interview players: post-round in the morning wave, post-round in the afternoon wave. And I've not gone in the break, so players are starting to come in, and Amanda Balionis from CBS is just down the hill from my position, so I see everyone coming her way. Tiger has not come in for the last 3 days. I think it's one of my, it is my first season out on the PGA Tour. He doesn't know who I am, he's not going to come in, so I'm like, right, do you know what, I can see where Tiger is, because there's like a throng of people going around wherever he is. And I was like, I've got maybe 3 players after Tiger's group that I do need to interview, and they will come to see me. So what I'm going to do, Tiger's not coming in. So he's not going to Amanda, and he'll go to Amanda first before he comes to me. So I'm just going to pop to the toilet now. This seems like a very good time. So off I go, and by the way, I do nothing quickly, like nothing. Not even, like, my family can't even watch me pack a suitcase, because I'm like, everything has to be like lined up. And so that's right.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to the bathroom, and let's bear in mind that it's not happening fast, it's very deliberate, and I'm plodding along. Go to the bathroom, washing my hands, and I'm going to go plod outside and look down the hill from the balcony. No big crowd. Fine, cool. And I'm just plodding along, probably singing a song in my head, and like it's all happening very slowly. I get to the bottom of the hill, and I look up at the Sky Cart, and Tiger is literally standing there waiting for me, looking around the back of the car, like wondering where I am.
No, Henny.
Yeah.
No, Henny.
And my hands are wet, by the way, of course. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm allowed to say sorry. And I like sprint up the hill. Hi Tiger, sorry, I'm Hennie. I just went to the toilet. Nice to meet you. And then I usually, this is my first time ever interviewing Tiger. First time out on the PGA Tour. And usually you get, the Sky Cart's interactive, right? So your producer tells you we've got this shot, this shot, this shot, this shot. And then you plan your questions out, and you hold in your head, which is actually quite difficult sometimes. Hold in your head as their answer. How'd you get, like, tell me about this on 5 and da-da-da. And you can't just like press the button and go, tell me, because you have to actually ask a question, right? So, but I don't know where anything is, because I didn't prep for this. So I don't know. I don't know what shots we have. I don't really even know what, like I barely know what he shot. And he's standing in front of me, and Tiger has this like real intensity to him. So he's standing there, he's already been waiting for me. He like had, he deigned to come to the Sky Cart to see me, and did no interviews with anyone else.
So had someone asked him to come to the Sky Cart?
Yeah, but
Right.
I didn't think, he just thought he'd say no.
No,
He
okay.
asked every day, and he said no.
Got it,
so it's
got
like
it.
round 3, and apparently the wonderful guy from the PGA Tour who works with all the players and does the player request, JB, he is an icon, and we got on really well, and he was like, come on, Tiger, like, Hennie's really nice, just go and see her, just do it once. So he's really like talked him into it, and Tiger's gone, yeah, all right, JB, I'll go. And then I wasn't bloody there. So anyway, I did the interview, like beads of sweat coming down, which to my point about the swamp was like fine, because everyone just thought like, oh, it's sweaty. Nailed it, did it perfectly, and had a nice little chat and interaction with him, and it all worked out well. But that was the person I was most nervous to interview. It was the worst prep for an interview I've ever done, and it was the most classic Hennie thing in the world.
I had Nick, when he first interviewed Tiger, I was out at dinner and he phones me. He says, Stu, I'm just about to interview Tiger Woods. Give me a question. I said, what? Do me a favour, you know enough about the game to ask him a question. Yeah, call me up. Like the US, I was out at dinner. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But I think that's probably the only guy in the game, right, that's going to make you feel about that. Jordan Spieth, Nick's always mentioned that he's not particularly friendly.
Oh, I get on fine with Jordan. Yeah. He's been fine.
Yeah. Anyone that's frosty, other than when they've obviously played badly, anyone that's tricky to...
Some of them are tricky, in terms of you have to ask like the exact right question sure. the exact right way. Some of them are intense. Some of them they stop answering a question halfway through because you're expecting them to say more, and you're like, "Oh, you finished talking!" Shit. Let me just
elaborate a bit more.
Get another 4 questions out the back of my brain here. But no, to be fair, everyone's generally easy, and even the tricky ones, I like that because it's a bit of a challenge, and I'm like, right, what am I gonna how am I gonna crack you today? And it's a really good environment on the PGA Tour. Actually, I've always liked it.
Well, look, would you like to have another go at the nearest to pin?
Yes.
I feel like you didn't do yourself justice there.
That. Simon Cooper won in big letters.
Well, yeah, it's something that we've come used to.
That's got me starting off this time round then. Every dog has his day.
Kev T asks, who would Hennie pick, good question, as a mixed foursomes partner, and why?
A professional golfer?
Could be anyone. Anyone.
I mean, at this rate, I pick Simon Cooper because that swing, that consistency, 20 feet on the face of the swing.
That's a bit nasty.
Yeah, no wind.
Opie's in that trap now, right up the face of it for you.
Spooned it up a little bit. Actually, doesn't look too bad.
Oh no, that looks. He's been practicing.
I've seen enough.
He's been practicing.
Sorry, I love you, Stuart.
No, Hennie, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So 15 foot 1 inch. You're going to be able to improve on that.
I feel like I should.
There is a quiet confidence.
There is a quiet confidence.
You have to with these trousers on. Thought I'd get my retaliation in first. I went spring-like with the outfit today. Well, this could be quite good.
Here's a good question. Flanker Jack, Hennie, how do you overcome being someone who started golf late, 47, trying to catch up to those who started at a young age? What tips would you have for young Flanker Jack? It's a good question, isn't it?
I would probably work on mobility a lot more than anyone else. Because I think the thing that you get from starting golf and playing golf really young is just that that feels natural, just to do that and just to swing back. So as much rotational mobility as you can, because most people don't rotate in day-to-day life, right? That's the thing that I probably need to do the most. If I'm thinking I've got to play, I'll immediately reeled it. Okay, I'm just going to rotate a bit, because usually you walk, even in the gym, you're not doing rotational exercises. At the office, you're just sitting there. Everything is on a straight plane. So I think to combat that, as much rotational stuff as you can, I think that's probably what I would say.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And just always have a club in your hand, if you're at home. Because that's what we all did as kids. I used to use a hairbrush in my room, just practicing grip or a knife and fork at dinner time or something. Just keep, just become obsessed with it a little bit.
Doug asks, do you ever miss playing competitively? I mean, I think we sort of gestured this earlier, but we'll ask it.
That was online.
We'll ask it on that. No, probably not.
No. I think the honest answer is no. I really struggled with retirement for a very long time. I'm in a different part of my life now, and I enjoy my job at Sky more than I ever have, and I really love the role that I'm in. But if you'd asked me this 8 years ago, I'd be struggling, or the answer would be different. But no, this is really cheesy, and I said this to my mum when I was leaving Mauritius, because we were sitting around at dinner, and she was like, do you want to, who's excited or not looking forward to going back home, obviously from Mauritius? And I was I genuinely love my life now, to the little teeny tiny details. I really love my life, which is a bit cheesy, but so for that reason, no, I don't miss it.
It looks like you're loving your life as well. Yeah. It's coming out of every pore.
you. That's the one.
Is that the one? Is that beating Cooper's 15 foot 1 inch?
Possibly.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
No.
It's on. It's on.
I found the green.
We can't have a Cooper double win, can we?
No, you got to beat 10'7".
Sorry?
You got to beat 10'7".
Is that what it was? 10
Yeah,
foot 7.
Second one.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I've hit the green now. So.
Did he have a practice swing?
The thing I find, I thought I'd want to play competitively still, so I thought I'd want to do the mid-am stuff things, but actually, I really enjoy. I think because I'm not playing that much, I know I'm not playing enough to be as competitive as I really want to be, and I really enjoy the.
Yes! Come on!
Not competitive at all, but I really enjoy. So I'm going down to Sandwich to play. We've got a 4-ball, better ball, good shot. Where we've got a series of 4 or 5 games that we've been playing as pairs.
I want to see if
And it's really competitive golf
we've got one more.
on a great
One
course, but more friendly competitive.
Yeah.
I still like the club championship stuff. I still get up for that, but I don't hanker after playing tournament golf. And I think golf kind of is probably in the right stage for me in life. I'm still horribly competitive, but I'm really enjoying playing. And I think if I tried to get more competitive again, I think I'd get a little bit more. Yeah.
Anyway, let's not let's not dwell on that. As you say, we've got more questions to answer. Do slower SSL PGA players get enough height on their 3-woods? Even the men.
Slower swing speed LPGA players get enough height on their 3-woods.
Even the men with faster swing speeds are switching out, or do the slower swing speed players use it more off the tee?
It depends what job role they're looking for. So if you're seeing, I think you're seeing more of the guys going to higher loft because they're trying to get height and stopping power into greens. So it's for that shot. Whereas you might find an LPGA player wanting total distance and going for a flatter run out shot. So it depends what job role they're going for, or a off the tee option. So I think what we're seeing now is more lofted woods on the PGA Tour and DP World Tour because of accessing pins and stopping power and height. It's not really a distance fairway club anymore, it's an inter-green club, so that's where the slight shift is a bit.
The left rough, Charlie Hull or Leona Maguire for a major this year?
Oh, no, I can't choose both.
They're going to tie and tie and tie and tie.
No, I'd love to see both of them win a major because they're both incredible people who work super hard and are wildly talented. And wouldn't that be a great year? A Leona Maguire and Charlie Hull major.
Yeah.
I'm a duo.
Followed by Georgia Hall.
Yeah.
That would be a nice trio, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be a trio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and look, can it happen? Yeah, of course. They're super capable. They're super talented. I'd love to see it.
So, I'm not putting you on the spot here, but maybe I am. Charlie Hull, what's missing, do you think, with Charlie's game?
I don't think anything. You know, the thing that I absolutely love about Charlie is that she is who she is. And I think that's what makes her such an incredible role model. And I don't care if it's smoking or working out 10 times a day or like whatever it is, she is just her.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
is so rare in this day and age. So that for that reason, I just think she's a wonderful role model. And she, is like, I want to live in England and I love home and I love my family. And these are all the things that Charlie has to do to make Charlie happy. So by what metric are you measuring what's missing,
Yeah,
in her
for
life?
sure.
Nothing.
No,
She's
absolutely.
great,
Yeah,
in her golf, you can't be other than what you are. And I think everything that makes someone successful or unsuccessful is a double-edged sword.
Of course.
And so you've got to be so careful you can't blunt one end without blunting the other side, right? It's that magical sword, double-edged sword. If you take a stone to one side, it's going to blunt the other side. And I think that's super important, even in our lives, right? There's certain things about me that if I'm more organized, what does that take away from me? What does that do to, my magic maybe is being able to just be like relaxed and on the spot and ad lib and great. So if I do something else, does that take that away? I think in terms of if we're looking at maximizing potential, I think we've got to look at a person's whole personality and their lifestyle and who they are as a person, not just a golfer. And so, yeah, I would say that she's just crushing it.
Yeah, we had a Charlie in, we had a Christmas Live with a live studio audience. And it's like talking to the junior golfer that's been around for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
I think if there is one thing that any tour player would love to keep is that junior outlook.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's got it in abundance.
She just loves golf.
Yeah. And I think that wins over every time, because inevitably you're going to walk into a tournament and win a major, because she's verbalised that she wants to win a major championship, and that's of course, absolutely. But it's so refreshing, and even Todd Clements, who was here, it was certain things were surprising to him, how simple she thought about the golf swing, the game, how really junior like it was, and it was lovely to see. Almost he got a lot of insight into Charlie's Charlie's
your point earlier,
insights.
the juniors are free. They're playing for playing and to enjoy playing, and I kind of feel like there's going to be a week where all 4 rounds click, and she's gonna walk away with one.
Yeah.
But she'll charge away with one.
For sure. And she'll, like, to my point about, you are who you are and you're not going to change that too much. Of course you're going to refine it, right? Like, she has refined certain elements of her game and learning about who she is and maturing. And again, to my point about organisation, like you start to like get little bits here and there, but it's not going to fundamentally change like who she is and how she plays golf.
It would be amiss not to talk a little bit more about junior golf, ladies golf, and where it's going and how far it's come. What do you see as landmark victories for the ladies' game moving forwards? What would you like to see more of within club, regional, county side of things? Because we support Surrey Ladies Golf. You've helped us with a few of the days. So many inspiring young ladies and girls that came down on the day and saw you do some fantastic coaching upstairs on Sport Box. That was wonderful to watch. Where do you see the game going for lady juniors now?
Yeah, it's a great question. I am so inspired by all of the changes and progress and projects that I see going on from a grassroots level all the way up. And look, we've come a long way from where we once were and where we even were when I was junior. I think to move it on further, I just think it lies at the doorstep of golf clubs. And I'm quite passionate about this in that I just think they have to be more welcoming spaces. And I know, I get this all the time. Everyone goes to me like, but my golf club is. And it's like, yeah. But really, genuinely ask women what feels comfortable to them. That's the ultimate thing. What is that ingredient? Is it a space just for them? Is it times is it integration with everyone? Is it about the dress code? Is it about making it a family-friendly space and it being open to children, the really annoying ones that cry? They often come with mothers. So, it just has to be truly welcoming. I think my frustration that you can blatantly hear in my voice is that golf clubs will go we want to be more open to women, so let's do a coffee morning on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. And it's hi, if you work, you can't go to that. Yeah. Or we want to be more welcome to women, let's do it at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. in an evening. And it's no, it's my child's dinner and my child's bedtime. I'm I can't do that. I can't be in two places at once. And if I do that one time, that's not sustainable. If it was 5 p.m, kids dinner plus women's clinic straight afterwards, I can do that. That's great. That's an activity for both of us. It's a welcoming space. I'm not going to get a group of people looking at me from across the bar because we're making too much noise. And then even some of the most family friendly spaces, you still get that. I still experience that when I take my daughter. And so that does not work. That is not sustainable to growing the game for women. And the same for girls. You're a young teenage girl, you're super self-conscious, to walk into a space that everyone's staring at you, you're not wearing the right thing, you're not saying the right thing, you're not doing the right thing, you are not going to put yourself in that position. You're just not. Yeah. So yes, that's probably, it just lies at the doorstep of golf clubs.
And the trouble is you need someone as passionate as yourself to be at every golf club, don't you? And,
Right.
you need someone appointed, right? Who is the passionate one that wants to grow the game for this sector? And it's difficult.
You just need young women on a committee. Like, make a committee that's like 90% young women, and you'll get your answers. So you just have to actually ask the people that would be there what works for them, which is so simple, but it just doesn't happen. Right? It's like a group of older men going, or older women even, who are going, oh yeah, I've got this really good idea. It's like, is it though?
Is it really?
Yeah, I keep saying, like, just give me a golf club and I'll show you that it works. It does work, it will work. It's worked in like other sports and other areas of life. So yes, that's my answer to.
Brilliant and well answered with passion and verve. So we've got 5 minutes left. Let's talk about the 4 majors this year.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of people out there that like to pick a player before they go into it.
Yeah.
Give us your 4.
So I am a hopeless romantic. I'm going to start this.
So you're starting with Tiger, are you?
No.
Well,
Oh, right,
he's not
okay.
playing. He's already said he's not playing.
Oh, is he not
Yeah.
playing? Oh, right, okay. I didn't
I'm not
understand.
that hopeless.
Right, okay.
No, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I'm going for.
Faldo's not in the field either, is he?
Okay, I'm not going to go in order.
Okay.
I'm just going to go in order of like what I want to see.
Right,
Rory at Royal Portrush.
got it.
That would just be
Yeah.
unreal. I know when I say that, everyone's like, but Rory at the Masters. And I hear that. And that would be unreal. I get that. But I just think Rory in Northern Ireland would be electric.
And don't you think on the back of last time it was Ireland,
Yeah.
it didn't
Yeah.
really cover himself in glory, did he? There'll be something there with a little
Built
bit
into
of
too big a thing.
yeah,
isn't it?
there'll be a little bit in the tank that they want to prove something, won't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that, to be fair.
And then I'm going to go Ludwig Oberg for the Masters.
Okay, nice.
Because
Second
he was
turn.
second last
yeah.
year, and it was his first ever
First
major.
major, yeah,
That's got to
right.
be so special. And
Yeah.
what a place to win your first major.
Yeah.
That would be unreal. I just feel like he's going to have this unreal legacy in golf, and that would be a really special place to start off his major legacy.
US
US
Open's Oakmont this year, notoriously tough.
I mean, I do want Scotty to win another major this year because I like the continuation of the Scotty run. Do I want like in my head is not? Do I want a Bryson DeChambeau double, which would be amazing, or maybe like a Scotty Bryson duel
Yeah.
for the US Open?
What about a Rory Bryson rematch and Rory takes it down on the back of
No, because I've
like
already
ahead,
given Rory Portrush.
but
and I'm
ahead
not
of
doubling up.
No, okay, right, okay, got it. Let's not be greedy, Rory.
Let's not. No. Otherwise, I would just do like Rory Masters.
Yeah,
or
fair
US
dues,
Open,
yeah,
or Rory.
fair dues,
The PGA, I'd love to see like an outsider, because that for me is the beauty of the PGA. Who would I like to win the PGA? I would like. Obviously, it's going to be a European.
While you think about that,
Yeah.
you're starting a YouTube channel coming soon.
Yes, I am. It is going to be called This Golf Thing.
This
It's
golf
going to be
thing.
launching in April.
Brilliant.
It'll be mostly filmed here. It'll be mostly including questions from you guys and a lot of input from you guys. Yeah, I'm very excited about that because I've been talking about doing YouTube for like a very long time, as you know, and just haven't quite got it done. So yeah,
And you're doing a bit of coaching on Skiddist as well?
I am. Yes, that will all sort of go under the TGT, This Golf Thing banner. There'll be events as well to look out for. Yeah, it's going to be this like ecosystem of wonderful golfing content and events and ways to get involved. So.
And very quickly, lastly, YouTube golf. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously Bryson's doing it. You know, a lot of, you know, Grant Horvats of the world. You know, there's a lot. You know, Phil Mickelson. There's a lot of different style of content now for people to enjoy. You know, the days of watching 100-odd golfers go head to head. Now you can watch as good a golf with almost as good a coverage, but yet have the human element to it, the characters, the stories. How do you see that fitting in the world of golf moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like from a like Bryson professional golfer point of view, I know that they love connecting with fans, and that immediate connection is not through someone asking them questions. They get to put out the content that they want, and they can be creative. And then in terms of that working alongside like a linear broadcast, I just think there's space for everything. And they're not necessarily in direct competition with each other, but they're just making the whole way that we consume the sport that we love better. So yeah, I welcome all of it. I sort of equate it to like, if I'm really bad at handiwork, right? So if I can't do something around the house, I just YouTube it. You can't do something in your golf swing, you just YouTube it. And so yeah, that's what it's there for, and I love that. And then you've got all the fun stories and your favourite characters that you can connect with and talk to. And no, I'm such a big fan of it, and I'm really excited to get on the platform soon.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully you've all enjoyed a little insight into Hennie's world, and she's brought a little bit of magic to your Monday evening. I'm sure that Hennie will be back with us at some point during the year, and do stay tuned for Hennie's YouTube channel. You'll be able to find the link to that in the description of this video when it launches, so stay tuned for that. Hennie?
Also, can't let everyone go without my European PGA.
Well, I didn't want to put you on. I didn't want to put you on the spot with that, Hennie. You know, you have a lot of and ahhing.
There was a lot of I know. I'm going to go for Shane Lowry.
I like that.
Yeah.
He'd be one of my picks for a major this year.
Like that.
He's been there a lot of late, and he's a big tournament player as well. So wouldn't surprise me if he was a Masters win.
Yeah.
We heard it here first. Shane Lowry for the PGA Championship. Big thanks to Hennie, Simon. Thank you all for watching this week, and we'll see you next Monday, 6 p.m. Have a great golfing week. Enjoy yourselves.